let's first get you in on ITC and not the index. We'll do that in just a bit. But this crack, do you buy the dip?
Well, not initially, but I would wait out for maybe another day because I think the stock has not found any major support even after this sell-off. So the first round of sell-off actually happened for ITC from 494, 495 levels. It moved up hard to I think 498, and then all of a sudden it went down to 478. And now the stock is at 470, which means at least another 8 to 10 rupees cool off should happen into the stock price. I think closer to 460 could actually be a better zone to buy ITC, but not at current levels.
Index and what's happening there. Nuresh, your sense as far as the Nifty is concerned today, it's very, very choppy to say the least. Do you think the 750 is becoming a bit of a congestion zone for the market?
So I think we need to get into a 300, 400 pointer range. A lot of heavyweights are done with the results. The price action is done. And triggers for a quick move are out for now. And by end of this expiry, 70% of the Nifty weights would be done with the results. So expectation is 19,600 to 500 on the downside, 20,000 on the upside becomes a resistance. And in this period, you keep seeing stock specific action based on results, which would continue for the next 1 week, 1 to 2 weeks, where majority of the results should get done in terms of the heavyweights. So overall, time for consolidation mode on the Nifty and stock specific action based on results and any other announcements in the large caps.
Was already in the green before the earnings were setting in. Maybe that's the only reason. We'll wait back for more details as well as TVS Motors is concerned. But quickly, Nooresh, a chart check on TVS Motors. What would be your recommendation?
So the case is the stock has outperformed meaningfully over the last months and years. In the near term, if you look at the last 2 months, it has been stalling around the 1370 mark. And on the lower end, 1290. So till the time it is in this range, it could continue. A break below 1290 would be an indication of a short-term top being in place, and it could correct.
Do you also believe that in the near term, perhaps auto stocks may have peaked out or not quite?
Not really. I believe I'm still extremely bullish on the auto pack. I still believe that there's a lot of room on the upside for these auto stocks. Look at the charts for Hero MotoCorp, Bajaj Auto, even Tata Motors to a large extent. These stocks have gone sideways already in the last 1-2 weeks in terms of price action. But then when you look at the leadership, so very rarely do we find that when a sector gets 2-3 strong leaders, that the sector tends to underperform for a larger period of time. Tata Motors has been one of the outperforming stock. You've seen Bajaj Auto also making fresh highs for itself in this last 3-4 months of very strong price action. M&M has been an exceptional chart right from 2022 when the stock managed to break out that 700, 720 odd barrier or resistance for itself. So I think when you have 2-3 such kind of strong leaders, the sector goes in for a much more stronger confidence up move. And I believe that there are no signs where the larger cap names or the performing stocks have entered into any kind of a froth or any kind of an overbought territory for themselves. So in that kind of a scenario, I would expect that this trend should continue on the upside for many of these auto names. I would in fact actually expect that as a pack, many of the auto stocks could rise up by at least another 10 to 15% in the next 3 to 6 months. So traders who have been bullish on the stock earlier, they just have to extend their time horizon from very, very short term to now 3 to 6 months to garner that extra potential return of 10 to 15% plus.
Okay, point taken. So there's more upside available for some of these auto names. But just pull up the intraday chart of PNB Housing as well. Of course, that too was a result candidate. There was a 48% growth in terms of the profitability on a year-on-year basis. The revenue jumped up by almost 21%. And this is despite total cost also getting higher by around 15%, and the other income fell by 90%. So overall, the numbers from PNB Housing Finance was also quite strong, and that's why you are seeing an uptick on this one. In fact, not just PNB Housing, a whole host of financial earnings came today, right from the banking names as well. So let's go across to Kunal to check in terms of the other the chart checks for these as well. PNB Housing as well as Canara Bank. That was the other one that came today.
Yeah, Canara Bank also is one of the attractive charts. In fact, I've been very bullish on the PSU banking lot, and I strongly believe that these stocks have just started a cusp of a second leg of a breakout. So we try to measure that in terms of the time-wise rally, the time-wise consolidation, the price-wise rally these stocks have shown. And I think many of these PSU banking stocks are actually getting into the second phase of a major breakout for themselves. So I think it's now a matter of patience as well as time for these PSU banking stocks. They may look overbought in a shorter term time frame, but then when you look at this in the next 6 months to 1 year kind of a time span, I would believe that these stocks should be significantly higher from where they are currently. PNB Housing could be an exceptional chart because I think that 680 plus levels where it's trading, it's already confirmed a fresh multi-week, multi-month breakout. In fact, this could be one of the best closing the stock has seen in the last, I think, 2 years or plus for itself. Again, the last 3 to 4 months has been nothing short of exceptional for PNB Housing. From 375 or 400 where this move started off for PNB Housing to now 680 plus levels on the verge of breaking 700. This is a strong and an exceptional move.
Okay. Andrew, on that note, we're going to let you go. Thanks as always for taking the time out and joining in. Let's quickly get in some closing ideas before we chat with Samvardhana Motherson Management as well. Kunal, what's on your radar?
So Sun TV is something which looks attractive to me on the charts. Now trading at 540. We flagged this earlier, sub 500 levels. Would look to be very bullish on the stock and look to trade at current levels.
Right. Nooresh, what about your strategies?
So that would be NTPC, which looks interesting, 2 rupees away from a 52-week high.
Just wanted to flag out not just the PSU banking names, the entire PSU basket itself is doing quite well. Apart from banks, it's power space as well, which is seeing quite a bit of traction. SJVN, NHPC, PFC, REC, pick up any of these names. They are quite excited in the trading session. And of course, the other defense names, the likes of BML, the railway stocks, rights, etc. Everything is doing quite well. So the PSU space as a whole is seeing quite a bit of re-rating. But within the power stocks itself, Nooresh, do you have a preference? These hydro names, SJVN, NHPC, and even the financiers, REC, PFC?
So REC, PFC have already made a move, but NHPC still looks interesting. The stock has given a range breakout, headed towards a move towards 60 levels. NTPC could be the next one, which is the largest one, just 2 rupees away from an all-time high. SJVN could be on dips, but NHPC looks the best one at current prices, and the next one would be NTPC. And overall, the trend is very positive across the board for these names. So one by one, we could see one NHPC and NTPC do well. The smaller names like Inox Wind, etc. have also done well. So time to look at the ones which have not.
Right. Let's welcome